Hello, this is the presentation on organizational skills. This is brought to you by the Office of Learning Services here at Millersville University. How can being organized help an individual? Well, being organized involves having your materials and your things in predictable places. It's involving keeping an orderly desk and having a structured manner of routine and schedule. So being organized involves these things, and it also allows for us to keep that information in order so we can process it, so we can understand it, and we can remember it. So what does it mean to be disorganized? Well, it means more than just having tons of paperwork lying around. You are disorganized when you are unable to locate items you put away. If you just shove papers into your backpack haphazardly, then you are probably not going to be able to find that later and locate it. Most disorganized people are not able to remember assignments, and they don't even have an approach to remembering assignments. They don't write down their assignments, they don't set schedules, they don't set goals. All of these things are something that disorganized people do. They also have a haphazard way at approaching school. There is no technique to what they're doing. They don't have a system put in place to prepare themselves for exams and homework assignments and projects. They are also unable to coordinate any other activities in their lives or responsibilities. It's difficult for them to plan their available time. They end up using that available time for more free time activities rather than for what is, required and expected of them. So benefits of being organized. It helps you save time, and it helps you overcome procrastination. If you can organize your time and prepare yourself, then you are more likely to complete the assignments, initiate the assignments, and it will also save you time later. You will not have to cram several hours beforehand. You will have fully prepared because you have scheduled that time previously. It also diminishes distractions and enhances your memory. You are more likely to focus on the item at hand when you don't have to worry about several other things going on. And that focus will be better for your memory and retrieving those important items later on tests and exams. It will also help you achieve those goals that you are looking for throughout the semester. Do you want to get straight A's? Do you want to exceed and learn as much information about your field as possible? Then these types of organized skills will help you achieve those goals. It will also help you reduce stress. Many times when we are forced with a deadline, we become stressed and we are overwhelmed with the tasks at hand. However, being organized helps one relax because we have previously planned out miniature deadlines and we are not overwhelmed with a looming exam coming up. So, as we delve further into this presentation, we are going to focus on a few areas. We are going to focus on spatial organization, which includes one's room and the study area, as well as organizing one's activities, so scheduling those times to complete homework and projects. First, let's focus on our study area. This is an area that we want to set aside and be specific to just doing schoolwork. Perhaps it's a desk or location in the library. Wherever it is, it should be free of distractions. It should be free of anything that's going to keep your attention away from your work. Put away that phone, turn off that television, tell your roommates that you cannot hang out with them. No distractions. You also want to make sure there's a desk where you're not too comfortable. You want to be in a chair, not your bed. You want to make sure you have your book bag and all your materials. Any study aids, so a computer, books, a dictionary, anything you might want to use to complete that assignment. So how do we manage these materials? Well, the supplies, make sure you have something to put them all in. A backpack, a bag. Make sure that small items are in smaller places where they can be easily found. Paper, pencils, etc. We want to make sure that those are easily accessible and we can manage those materials. So our binders and notebooks, we want to make sure we're using dividers to keep that organized by class, or if you have a binder just for one class, you want to make sure those dividers separate out assignments versus projects versus class notes, all of those things. You want to make sure you file each piece of paper that you receive from a teacher in the place where it should be and not just putting it away haphazardly. This can be very important because when we want to retrieve this piece of paper later, it can be difficult if you have not put it in the appropriate spot. So don't be tempted to temporarily put something in your backpack and organize it later. Many times people forget to do this, and then later we cannot find those pieces of paper. You also want to make sure that you're keeping your schedule in front of you, possibly on your binder. Maybe it's accessible on your phone, or your planner's with you at all times in your backpack, but always make sure it's somewhere that's easily accessible. So your assignment book, that planner, it should be small and it should be something that you can carry around with you in your bag. Some people just use a notebook and write their assignments that way. If that works for you, use that method. Some people want a more scheduled calendar, but make sure to copy any assignments down as soon as they are given to you. So when you get your syllabus at the beginning of the semester, copy them down right away, those projects, those big important assignments, and then anything that's said to you in class, make sure to pull out your planner and make sure to write that down as soon as the professor gives you that assignment. And then you want to refer to that while you're doing your homework. Check off those assignments as you complete them. It's going to be very satisfying to see that to-do list slowly and surely completed. And then have a section for your completed assignments in your binder. That way, when you're handing it in, you know directly where to go and you're not shuffling around in your book bag during class and stressed out. You also want to set texts and necessary homework out the day before. Make sure to put the books you're going to need in your book bag. Make sure you have those binders and notebooks that are necessary for those classes the next day. Prepare the day before. So we've now discussed what to do with our materials and our surroundings. We now want to discuss the activities in one's life. So keep a calendar or a list to remind yourself of long-term assignments and events, and that way you can plan around your activities. If you know you have a project due on Monday, then you know the week before maybe you shouldn't go out of town to go visit a friend, or that you need to plan even further in advance for that project if you do plan to go out of town. So make a habit of looking at that calendar each day so that you don't plan any activities when you are supposed to be completing homework or studying for exams. Here are some tips for staying organized. You want to make sure you keep only one to-do list. If you have multiple to-do lists rolling around in your house or in your kitchen or in your notebook or on your phone, it's going to get very confusing about what you've done and what you haven't done. So keep one list. Then also keep your calendar and your to-do list where it's easily accessible. If you're not looking at your calendar every day or your planner every day, it's going to become useless. So make sure it's easily accessible. Don't forget to set achievable goals for the day. You do not want to overwhelm yourself with 7 to 8 tasks. You're going to feel very disappointed in yourself when you don't complete every single task. So make sure they're realistic. On the computer, keep everything in separate folders. So if you have a folder for spring 2015 Within spring 2015, you can put your various classes, so have a class for each folder, and then within that folder, have all those assignments and homeworks and projects or study guides ready to go, instead of having just one big folder for all of your work. Do a weekly reorganization of your room. Make sure to come back on Sunday or whatever day of the week that's good for you to reorganize your room and your materials so that you feel organized for the week coming. This has been the presentation on organizational skills brought to you by the Office of Learning Services. Please feel free to contact this phone number if you have any questions, and we will be able to help you out. Thank you.